Tensions are rising in the southern Caribbean. Thousands of United States Army and Navy troops have arrived near Venezuela's maritime borders, in what Washington described as a direct response to a surge in narcotics trafficking linked to Venezuelan territorial waters. According to U.S. defense officials, the deployment is part of Operation Sentinel Wave, a joint task force under U.S. Southern Command. The mission involves a combination of amphibious combat vehicles, ACVs, landing craft air cushion, LCAC hovercraft, and CH-53E Super Stallion helicopters, all designed to intercept and dismantle large-scale drug smuggling routes moving through the Eastern Pacific and the Caribbean Sea. Sources in Washington confirmed that intelligence reports tracked several narcotics shipments departing from Venezuela's coastal areas over the past few weeks. U.S. radar surveillance aircraft, along with Navy reconnaissance drones, detected at least 9 vessels suspected of carrying illicit substances toward Central America and the United States. In response, the Pentagon authorized a rapid mobilization of Marine and Navy assets from the Atlantic Fleet. Amphibious combat vehicles were seen conducting landing operations on remote beaches, while CH-53E Super Stallion helicopters provided heavy lift support and aerial observation across the region. Aboard the U.S. amphibious assault ship, crews reportedly worked around the clock to coordinate maritime interdiction efforts. The operation was supported by destroyers, Coast Guard cutters, and air patrols from nearby allied nations, forming a vast multinational security perimeter across key smuggling corridors. However, Venezuela condemned the deployment, calling it provocative. President Nicolas Maduro's government accused Washington of using the anti-narcotics operation as a pretext for military intimidation. In Caracas, Venezuelan armed forces were placed on heightened alert, activating coastal radars and air defense systems along the northern coastline. Despite rising political tensions, U.S. officials insisted the operation was not aimed at Venezuelan sovereignty, but rather at protecting regional security. The flow of narcotics from Venezuelan waters has reached unprecedented levels, a Pentagon spokesperson said. Our actions are focused on disrupting supply chains that endanger American lives and destabilize the Caribbean region. On both land and sea, the scale of the U.S. deployment is undeniable. Footage released by the Department of Defense shows amphibious combat vehicles rolling onto a sandy beach, deploying Marines who quickly secure the perimeter. Above them, CH-53E Super Stallion helicopters hover in formation, ferrying supplies and reconnaissance teams to forward positions. Defense analysts describe the operation as one of the largest U.S. maritime mobilizations in the Caribbean in more than a decade. The integration of advanced amphibious platforms and heavy-lift helicopters demonstrates how American forces can rapidly project power from sea to land shore, without relying on established ports or bases. Meanwhile, Venezuelan state media claimed that American aircraft had violated its air defense identification zone, an allegation strongly denied by the U.S. Navy. Regional observers warned that any miscalculation could further escalate tensions in an already fragile geopolitical environment. Independent experts noted that the mission also serves as a deterrent to transnational criminal organizations that increasingly rely on the Caribbean as a major drug corridor. By deploying military and intelligence assets, the United States is signaling that drug trafficking in the region will no longer go unpunished. As dawn broke over the turquoise waters of the Caribbean, U.S. amphibious ships, ACVs, and CH-53E helicopters continued their patrols. For Washington, the mission was a statement of vigilance. For Caracas, it was a warning that American resolve transcends diplomacy, reaching deep into the heart of the Caribbean Sea. Operation Sentinel Wave showcased some of the most advanced amphibious and air assets in the U.S. arsenal. The Amphibious Combat Vehicle represents a new generation of armored mobility, capable of seamlessly transitioning from sea to land while safely transporting Marines through hostile environments. Its digital navigation system, advanced communications suite, and 30mm autocannon make it a formidable force during coastal assaults. In support, the CH-53E Super Stallion, the largest and most powerful helicopter in the U.S. military, can lift more than 16 tons of cargo or armored vehicles, extending the reach of Marine expeditionary units far beyond traditional limits. Meanwhile, the landing craft Air Cushion, a high-speed hovercraft, allows heavy equipment to reach coastlines without ports or docks, ensuring the rapid deployment of troops and supplies in any terrain. Together, these platforms demonstrate how the United States can combine precision, speed, and exceptional logistics to assert presence and stability throughout the Caribbean region.